And economic issues are high on the agenda this election cycle. Nigeria is, after all, Africa's largest economy and the continent's biggest oil producer. Still, that doesn't mean much to the 40 million Nigerians currently out of work. With oil prices cut in half over the last 6 months, the country is in dire need of growth. Oil exports, account for 70% of the government's revenue, so the government is struggling to pay its bills as construction and oil-related layoffs continue to pile up. The IMF was forced to cut Nigeria's growth forecast for the year. Growth will likely be half of what it's averaged over the past 15 years. Analysts say Saturday's election winner will surely have his work cut out for him. And for more on who that might be and what the economic needs of Nigeria are as voters go to the polls, we're joined now by Nii Akuetteh. He's a member of the TransAfrica Forum Scholars Council and someone I got to know very well during the U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit here in Washington, D.C. But let's focus on Nigeria, Nii. Talk to me, first of all, about the impact of the delay. This was a delay of about 6 weeks, largely due to security concerns, Boko Haram in the northeast. How stable is national security going to be going into these elections?
I think it's comparative before the 6 weeks when Boko Haram was actually on the rampage. They had the momentum. In the past 5 weeks, with the postponement, we've actually seen some improvement on the security level. The Nigerian army, with help from a number of different sources, has actually seized the momentum, if we are to believe the reports coming back. But the postponement was very controversial. There were a lot of people, in fact, I dare say the majority of opinion makers, from what I'm hearing, they said, oh no, this is suspicious, this was done to benefit the government. I'm not among them, because my fear was Boko Haram was always going to target the elections because they hate elections. And if nothing is done, a lot of Nigerians will be killed and then the government will be blamed. So on balance, I think it was a good thing that was done. It allowed more time, but now everybody is saying no more postponement. So Saturday is it.
And we've just in the last few days seen U.S. President Barack Obama weigh in. Susan Rice had a meeting with one of the top officials of Nigeria, a phone call with him this morning, and talking about this issue of whether there should be military security at the election polls. I mean, there's a real downside to it if it prevents people from going. What's your take?
I think actually it's a good thing, because even though land has been wrestled from Boko Haram, they are a terrorist organization. They specialize in suicide bombs. You know, they use little girls of all things. And so I think they will still try. We cannot be sure that they won't do suicide bombings, so we have to be vigilant. So I'm glad there will be some security there. Actually, I don't think it will prevent Nigerians from voting, because they have actually been saying we need security to go and vote. And I am so glad, I can't tell you how glad I am that President Obama sent a video message. John Kerry visited and then did an op-ed piece. Joe Biden called them. I think that kind of attention from the U.S. and the world tells the Nigerians you have to be on your good behavior. Yes. And Kofi Annan from Ghana, the former Secretary General of the UN, actually went to Nigeria and had all the party leaders sign that they will not indulge in violence.
Okay, let's get to the economic issues, though.
Sure.
Oil prices taking an enormous hit.
Yes.
Is this the main election issue for folks?
For now, I think it is, although it's not being seen that way. People are looking at the results of it. They are not really cutting Jonathan credit to say, well, look, oil prices have tumbled everywhere. It's not his fault. They are just saying under his watch, you know, there's so much, the bills cannot be paid. People are out of work and people are hurting. On the other hand, I don't think he's getting enough credit for the fact that the economy doubled under him. You know, it was under him that the economy became Africa's biggest. He did a good job on Ebola. But, you know, elections, I mean, he's a politician. He chose his line of work. We'll see. What
can either candidate really promise the Nigerian people that they will do, though, about the economy when they have so much dependence on oil prices?
Oh, I'm afraid, you know, this is election. So it's in this part of it, it's all about promises, promises, promises. Politicians think I'll say anything to win, and then when it comes to delivery, that will be a second issue. So I'm afraid that from what I'm hearing, they are promising everything, including the moon. Whether they'll be able to do something about it, we'll see.
What about reducing unemployment? I mean, that would go hand in hand, essentially, right?
Oh, absolutely. But again, you know, with oil, taking such a tumble, it reverberates through the whole economy. So I think creating unemployment will be harder than it would have been. Now, efforts will be made. It depends on who wins, because even though I say they just say anything to win, they will make some effort to try and say, okay, I'm delivering on what I promised. But it will be hard until oil prices rise. It's going to be very hard.
For no matter who wins.
That's right. That's right.
All right, Nii Akuetteh, thanks so much for your insight tonight. We appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.